Radiant team ban.
Playing Brew support up against the Terrorblade, you still slow him, you still let your allies do the damage, but for the most part, you're guaranteed crits. It's not guaranteed. It's like mostly guaranteed. Your crits coming out from Drunken Brawler won't really do all that much for someone who has the armor of Terrorblade, so you would really rather have a magical threat versus that Terrorblade if you're going to go in that direction at all. They'll take out the Tidehunter, the DK, and the Zeus, actually. I gotta assume that Playmakers were keeping an eye on Infamous's previous games. Zeus is a really dangerous hero to be playing versus as a Terrorblade. You don't want that. But Lina was already picked up twice for Infamous in order to counter Terrorblades, I think. At least once to counter Terrorblade. I think there was a game before then where they did the same thing. So that's like just the more likely thing that's gonna happen. You just take the Lina instead. I would say for the most part, we're looking at Lich for Infamous, and for the Playmaker side, they do ban out the Lina, so yeah. It took them a while, but they finally got there, it's all good. Playmakers are probably gonna grab, I feel an Undying. I got that feel. I could also see a Grimstroke come up here, and that could be pretty nice as well. Like getting that silence on a Brewmaster, whew, that is just so backbreaking. I'm gonna call the rest of the draft for Playmakers. They're gonna go for Undying. Then they're going to go for
5 seconds remaining.
You know what? I actually don't know. They're gonna end up with the Bat Rider. Like, gotta keep your eye on that one if you're Infamous. I have that feeling, you know. Right now, how aggressive do they want to be with this Terrorblade? Saw in an earlier game a team that went pretty aggro in the Terrorblade, and I don't think it was Infamous. I don't think it worked. I mean, everyone lost. It's a Centaur, so a little bit of a safer one, and that means no Bat Rider, which means all my predictions are currently wrong. Feels bad, man. But either way, Centaur is a solid hero up against PA, for sure. Up against the Brewmaster, he has a decent time as well, just stomp and run away. Or you can even challenge him with Retaliate. Like, you really can have, you do have those options as the Centaur. And at the very least, like, even if you have a support Centaur for whatever reason, or an underfarmed Centaur, you can still just press the Stampede button and get Terrorblade out of those big situations. This is something that Infamous were doing yesterday. Just Shadow Shaman, and even in the, yeah, I feel like every single time yesterday was just like Shadow Shaman. The Moose is pretty darn good with this hero, but I kind of like his Bane direction today. Like, admittedly, guys, I'm going to talk a little bit more about what Infamous have been doing over Playmakers, because we've just been watching them more today.
10 seconds.
But Shadow Shaman is something that Moose has been playing quite a bit. Although the Bane was very impressive as well. Shadow Shaman is probably a lot better versus the Terrorblade than the Bane. You get that ability to like get some AoE magic damage, at least clear out those illusions somewhat. Plus you get that ability to drop the Surf Mords, force tower defenses from Playmakers. But I mean, you could still go for what you did yesterday, even though they lost. Even though they lost pretty hard. It wasn't that hard, actually. Some of those games were real nail-biters. But either way, Shadow Shaman picked up. They want to play it with the Brewmaster. I could see that working pretty well, actually. And just crits and a whole bunch of disable durations slash slows. You're looking at some really, really tanky cores, so you need some damage. Playmakers will go ahead and grab an Enigma. I like that quite a bit, actually. They already have some pretty good disengage slash engage with Centaur Warrunner. Being able to capitalize on that with a couple of additional stuns in the teamfight capacity, really powerful. And looking at Infamous, they don't really have many ways, good ways of canceling Enigma Black Hole. Shadow Shaman may get some range on his abilities, might be able to do so, but sometimes he's just on the wrong side of the black hole, and you can't cancel that. PA can't do it, Brewmaster will have to split and do it, but if you catch the Brewmaster and your objective as Enigma usually is going to be to disable the Brewmaster with your black hole, pre-split, post-split, doesn't matter. Yeah, I like this pick quite a bit. In general, I feel like this hero is just overall really powerful. Even if you have like a good black hole matchup, even if you don't, and right now it gets a lot worse because there's a Rubik, but you still get those Eidolons. Together with the Terrorblade, that is just so many random units that are just going to be hitting creeps, hitting towers, giving you lane control, giving you map pressure. Such a powerful aspect of the hero. that at this point,
10
Infamous
seconds remaining.
will probably have to respect a little bit more, I would say. I mean, their AoE it exists,
5
but it's not really like
seconds
premium AoE. Shadow Shaman's pretty darn good. Rubik is okay. Phantom Assassin, I would say, is a decent shot at going for a Battle Fury this game. Envy does seem to like that build for just farming purposes. Of course, if you could one-shot a whole bunch of Eidolons, man, you're happy about that as well. By the way, my prediction on Playmakers was completely off. Like, now officially completely off. Batright will still be taken out. They expect Playmakers that this Brewmaster is going to be played by snaking. And that's a reasonable assumption, but you know, we know that they ran Pepita Brewmaster earlier today, and that's kind of the reason why this hero is so powerful. The mid Rubik's also picked up, and we'll see if Tomato can do a little bit better. His matchup versus Faker in the mid lane yesterday was really, really rough for him. He kind of just got crushed.
5 seconds remaining.
The Rubik is definitely a safe one. We'll see if he's other abilities, but it's solid. Lets you really apply pressure to those lanes, buy some space for the PA, and it's pretty easy to steal also. Like, Enigma usually is just going to be casting that all day long, so if you just at a random time spell steal an Enigma, odds are you're going to get demonic conversions. So now Playmakers still looking for most likely their mid select, and they have the last pick. They know that it's going to be a Rubik almost for sure. What are Infamous actually scared of in that regard? What do Playmakers have to really combo with in that mid lane? Looks like they can just pick up any independent mid laner and it should be fine. Not much pressure going towards that mid lane. They have disables, that'll be great, but it's not really a necessity. They take down the Ember Spirit. Like, honestly, if Playmakers want to get a Puck, just a little bit of an initiation type mid lane hero, that can be really good up against Brewmaster. Kind of crushes Shadow Shaman as well. The Underlord is the select for Infamous, going for a little bit of a weirder pick here. But I don't mind that up against the Terrorblade and the Enigma. Seems pretty decent. Again, you're looking at just buying a lot of space for that Phantom Assassin. Underlord is a great hero at doing that. Absorb a lot of damage, kind of take it off the board. My dog is going to start barking in about 10 seconds, guys, so fair warning. Turn your volume down. She's going to go nuts.
5 seconds
I think you might be able to hear her chewing on something. She's chewing on her nails. I feel like that's not good for dogs, but can't really stop them from doing that. Even humans bite their nails, right? And then we have an Elder Titan. Last pick for Playmakers, so this is going to be pretty interesting. Who's going to get this farm? This is kind of similar to what we saw earlier when Infamous Young were just picking up these kind of massive amounts of support heroes. We're really lacking the scaling. But, oh man, I just completely blanked on that that Baker Dazzle. I mean, we haven't seen mid Dazzle or core Dazzle really at all in this qualifier, so that kind of slipped my mind, admittedly. I apologize. So it's going to be a core Dazzle, core Enigma, core Terrorblade, obviously. And the other two are supports. That is pretty interesting. I mean, you get pretty much the same things as core Dazzle every single game. You just you just get that Necro book, and then you kind of just go around killing things. I feel like up against the Rubik matchup should be kind of a balanced one. And how weird is it that we have like Rubik mid? Yeah, standard. Dazzle mid? Yeah, that's fine as well. Nothing crazy there. And for this Elder Titan, adding a little bit more initiation, a little more team fight. It's all about getting kind of a pseudo front line for this Terrorblade, for this Dazzle. And ET and Centaur are like directly frontline heroes. Enigma also is a pretty decent frontline hero as well, just because he threatens with that black hole. A large barrier put in the way for Infamous to get over. I gotta say, liking Playmakers draft quite a bit here. Interesting, a snaking. They're swapping up here. Snaking Shadow Shaman and Moose Brewmaster. Moose has been playing the Shadow Shaman for the team pretty much every single time they picked it up. So, I mean, I'm sure both of these guys can play both of these heroes. So, It's probably just a little bit of min-maxing comfort zone at that point. Take a look at these lanes. Sword in the off lane with the Centaur. Faker, yes, the real League of Legends Faker. Man, how famous must you be if like you're so good at your game that your rival game, even the players there know you? Like, I don't know jack about League of Legends, but I know Faker. Dude is like, he's on top, man. Must feel good. And of course we got the Terrorblade here. I'm pretty sure I was told that this is Taro, but right now he's just Aussie, man. That's all he'd be. Tomato is in a rough spot, taking that stapler to the dome, and now even snaking in a rough spot because this ET, he's closing in fast. And the staple gun, that's actually just a hammer. That cosmetic is hitting hard onto snaking. Clap is going to give them a little bit of slows, but snaking is now in a corner, and he's going to be first blood almost for sure. Poison touch, one more slam jam. There it is, onto the Terrorblade. Gets first blood. Pretty sweet cash infusion there, and maybe even gonna be, oh my god, a 4 for 0 bounty rune exchange. Pack it up, boys. Call it. Look at this. How are you supposed to come back from this? I wonder what happened here. That's interesting. But yeah, 4 bounty runes, pretty good. Pretty good, guys. Let's see, they'll put Pepita in the matchup that he wants, which is versus the Enigma. Again, you get that Firestorm going, and these Eidolons are just free food for you. Stands right now, Moo's chilling on top lane. They're going to add a third. Saw Infamous do this earlier, but that was with an Iroh and a Gyrocopter. PA versus a Terrorblade. This is a drastically different matchup here. Shock goes off onto the Terrorblade. They're focusing him down. Excel trying to get in the way. And this TB is pretty physically bulky right now, but Moose and Snaking starting to chase him down, and will decide instead to back off, let him escape. Great move there from the ET. In fact, now his Spirit hit a lot of things, so he's hitting very hard, but into 3 heroes. Not sure if he can outrace this amount of heroes beating down on him. With Ozzy having that ranged form, maybe he can. He extends the damage buff he has, and onto Moose. They get the kill on the ET. Moose, one more shot is going to do him in. Now Snaking finds the kill onto the TB as well with that last shock. Just barely getting that kill. But hey, barely getting the kill still means you get the kill, right? An absolute brawl fest on the top lane, but it's a 3v2 lane. If you trade evenly as the 2 lane, as they just did, no, not quite actually, they were kind of behind, but if you get even trades with only 2 heroes, you're winning. Of course, this is going to look a little bit different. We have a little bit of rotation here. It looks like this Terrorblade has had enough. Pizza is once again just laying the fire down, and the Terrorblade just standing in it. That kind of hurts, but Pizza now, I don't think these Eidolons are going to split. I think they're just going to fade. Yeah, that's a pretty lucky break there, timing-wise, for the Underlord. They force the Terrorblade out and force the rotation. This is quite nice for Infamous. Over in the mid lane, in the meantime, mid lane matchup so far fairly even. But again, Faker has had Tomato's number all throughout yesterday. So I would not be surprised if, even though this matchup on paper should be fairly balanced, if Faker ends up coming out ahead. Like, I don't know what it is, if it's a mental thing or what, but it does seem like Tomato is gonna struggle up against Faker just as the player versus player matchup. Snaking versus Stinger. This is the day and age where Shadow Shaman is able to challenge a Centaur, but that's because the Centaur is calling in the reinforcements. Snaking, is he gonna get blocked by these Eidolons? No, actually, he's free and clear. 330 movement speed, look at him zoom. Snaking is free and he's in the wind. But he's doing a great job just messing with the opposition. I'm not sure how indicative of success this stat is in relation to what Snaking is doing, but in CS for the Radiant looking pretty darn good. Okay, now he's in a little bit of trouble. I don't think he's gonna get out of this one. You should have kept running, dude. You were free. When you thought you were free, they get you back in there. Excel is still farming this top lane. Looks like Sword is just taking the scenic route to get up here. I mean, that still means he has the TP rune, TP scroll for later. What is a TP rune? I don't know. But now he's a little bit of a late arrival. And ET with farm isn't really that incredible. Although ET with plus 75 damage is pretty good as far as killing off heroes is concerned. Pepita is just going to feel it right in the back of his skull. Snaking can only sit and watch. A lot of damage for Excel to be walking around with. An unrealistic amount of damage for 4 minutes in the game. You can add that with the fact that the Terrorblade is very similarly positioned, and the Firestorm that's going to land squarely onto the Terrorblade with the shackles, but they don't really have that final killing blow. Now Snaking into the tower, has a Fairy Fire, and that will keep him alive for one more hit. Tower aggro onto the ET, but Pepita is not hitting him. Spirit will straight kill off Snaking. It was close. I think maybe if Pepita just went straight in and started right-clicking, that would have been enough, but they kill off a couple heroes in as many minutes, and over in mid lane, oh man, this double damage Rubik is really putting the screws to this double damage Dazzle, putting the screws to the Rubik, and okay, okay, that was a delayed suicide. Not expecting that. Mono dead. This poison and right click, he looks pretty dead to me. Doc, call it. Time of death 502. Turns out if you're gonna wear Faker's name, pretty good. They're leaving EE on this top lane to kind of fare for himself. Up against just an Enigma, that's not really a terribly huge concern for Envy. Even up against Enigma and Centaur, he can still kind of deal with that, but the Brewmaster is here now. Dazzle level 6, level 5, not even close to level 6 on this Rubik. Challenging this Dazzle to a fight, I'm not sure about that. Because the Poison Touch, man, it is just going to destroy you. Does seem like at this point Tomato needs a little bit of help. He was doing great on the CS department. I'm not really sure what happened there. A couple of bad engagements, I suppose. Like, look at this. He has the minus armor from the bad Juju. Poison Touch, just kind of wrecking his health pool. He's going to have to constantly ferry this restorative out. Faker's going to push forward a little more. He does have a heal on his side. Oof. Monka S-ing this mid lane. Once you get level 6 as the Rubik, stealing Poison Touch, very easy to do. And then you're looking at a lane that's a little bit more interesting as far as fighting back is concerned. Right now, Tomato, if you turn around, you're in a lot of trouble. Even if you don't turn around, you're in a lot of trouble, honestly. Here comes your healing sound. Telekinesis back onto Faker, but with this haste rune, this Dazzle's got him. Spirit for Vision, easy chase down. And no one's really helping this guy. It feels bad, man. Abandoned by your teammates. Moves as well will be abandoned, and Playmakers get off to a really nice lead here on the heroes that matter. The Terrorblade, the Dazzle, even Enigma, despite being kind of all over the place in that early game, is recovering pretty well. Not recovering. I say recovering as if he's really far behind. He's kind of balancing out his net worth really well. So now, Tomato, like, what's the game plan? He's still just going into this lane. Shadow Wave has been stolen. Faker knows it. He doesn't care, clearly, because Rubik is, I think, just dead again. He's just going to die to the dots.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Tomato's had a lot of games as Rubik, but, again, I'm not really sure what it is. He's just getting bodied here. And I don't really know if a level 3 Brewmaster is going to be enough to help out in this situation. This lane seems like it's just on lock. There's a 3 Null Talisman build on the Dazzle versus just the 2 of the Rubik, level 6 and level 8. Oh my god, he's almost level 9. Oh, that is so disgusting. I mean, yeah, levels are one thing. He also has the gold to back it up and that Necro Book, which is just going to make him so much more terrifying. And they have caught Snaking with the Stomp. Not enough control to actually get that kill. Shock goes out. And that's about it. So Dazzle, as powerful as he may be, still is a hero that kind of has to keep finding success. It's not to say that he's bad as the game drags on, but he will become kind of less relevant of a hero compared to some of these others. But right now, he's at maybe not his complete peak, but he's really, really high up there compared to some of these other heroes. Getting this Necro Book, keeping that pressure on, constantly getting these kills, not letting up. Very important for Dazzle. And once that book comes up, you're looking at a lot of pushing options for Playmakers. Specifically for this Terrorblade to join in. You can even go in towards that Enigma as well. Eidolon's Level 3 at this stage. By the time they're really ready to push with Necrobook, they will be level 4. So triggered, Eidolons. Hey man, you triggered at the correct pronunciation, then that's on you, that's not on me. Look it up. I encourage everyone to look it up and reap the benefits of knowledge. Pepita still had a really great time, and EE, left on top lane for a very long time, has been having a grand old time as well. The only problem is he's going for a Battle Fury, which is a great item, and that in and of itself is not a problem. It's the fact that it'll take him a long time to actually get to that scaling item. In the meantime, everyone else on Playmakers, they are just going to be running at you. So it's just this race of Battle Fury. We'll see whether or not he's able to get it in a decent time frame. If it's slow, if he gets picked off a handful of times, if he gets dragged into a team fight, EE is going to be really, really tough to recover. And there's no one really on his team that can recover for him. Like, this Rubik is even worse, in an even worse position. This Underlord can only do so much. Like, yeah, he's going to be really tanky. Firestorm does a lot of damage, but can you really count on Firestorm to just win you every single engagement? Not quite. That's not how it works. Firestorm and the Pit onto the Centaur, doing quite a bit of damage. Bounty Rune should be secured by Pepita as well. No, he's just gunning for Stinger. They get the kill, and the Bounty Rune will finally be secured. Pepita now going to just try to Uber himself home. He's too drunk for that one, so he gets denied. Double kill for the Terrorblade, just really right-clicking onto everyone. What was that Bounty Rune split? Bounty. Looks like it was fairly even. There was a level 4 Brewmaster running around here. That's not all that impressive. Really needs to get level 6 at least, get that split. As it stands right now, level 2 Clap isn't going to be getting you any kills. Unless it's on a random Elder Titan in the middle of nowhere that you could somehow disable. Level 4 in the Shadow Shaman also. And it's not like there's a huge level advantage here for Playmakers. Scratch that, they have a level 6 Centaur. Alright, well, you know, sometimes you have to have a level 6 Centaur, man. That's how it goes. Sometimes your Phantom Assassin gets dragged into a fight. Or sometimes you think you're setting up for a Phantom Assassin, and then suddenly it's surrounded by every single hero on the enemy team, and you just get obliterated. Feels like Cell, man. That is a huge, huge hero rotation, however, for only that one Elder Titan kill, and he's not worth a lot. Yeah, they may be able to transition this into a tower, but you can bet that this Terrorblade is going to be doing much so the same thing on this bottom lane. Just constantly shoving it in, and Pepita, he sticks up here. That tower on the bottom lane is easy pickings for that TB. Looks like he will fall back, though. The Firestorm should defend this. Illusions kind of just died of Firestorm. As seen in Exhibit A. There is split now on the Brewmaster. Rubik level 9 versus the Dazzle level 10, pushing 11, but I would say for the most part, Tomato is not where he wants to be, but not in an awful spot either. It's just the fact that this Dazzle is ready to really, really party. Puts up his Necro units, get that Juju going, and the Necro Goons will just help him farm. 51, 5,200 net worth, 53 shortly. Dude is a serious threat. And at a certain point, like, Envy will be able to deal with him in the way only Phantom Assassins can deal with these heroes. As it stands right now, I'm not really sure how they kill off a Dazzle. How they kill off this Dazzle. They gotta fight through Stampede, they gotta fight through Black Hole. Obviously, there is gonna be a Stomp from the Elder Titan coming in as well, so, like, it's just so many ways for Playmakers to defend one another. And over in bottom, Pepita's fine, no big deal. But just look at this farm. Remember, Juju, minus armor on everything, physical damage on Terrorblades. The synergy is real. And the synergy is going to be even better as Natural Order comes up. Even more minus armor. Kind of like that flat reduction of armor, but you get that going for yourself, and your TB, your Eidolon, they're going to be hitting like absolute trucks. The Demon Edge is complete on the Phantom Assassin. That's definitely the hardest part of this PA's game. Just getting that Battle Fury to begin with. Of course, 2,000 gold worth of damage item is a lot to grind towards, but he's done with that part, so perseverance afterwards is no big deal. Playmakers, they're just sitting back and farming. Not really being punished in doing so. I mean, a little bit of a shove occasionally versus the tower. Kind of a slow pace here for Playmakers. This Dazzle actually starting to get involved a little bit. Split immediately upon arrival. They have the boulder toss, and now they're pushing forward. The Storm Panda lifts up the Dazzle. Dispel magic available, and it will also kill off a couple of those summoned goons. Dazzle has a grave, and he's going to try to TP out. There's a Hurl Boulder, and they don't cast it. Moose Micro, please. I'm pretty sure if he casted that, that would have been a free kill. I'm like 95% sure. So the Dazzle somehow escapes. That being said, in the meantime, they deploy Serpent Wards for the top lane, tier 1. Get that killed off. And ultimately, they do still kill off a Centaur War Runner. But killing off a Dazzle there would have been just such a huge pickup from Infamous.
Is under attack.
Dazzle, Grave TP. Sometimes, as they say in the gaming industry, it just works. Even though sometimes it really shouldn't.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
I feel like they also probably could have waited a little bit more for perhaps just like a full surround. I feel like maybe if they like waited for that Dispel Magic, a split second more, get into a full position, maybe they could like hold on to the boulder for a little while longer, something like that. They did overlap the boulder onto the Centaur. By the way, Snaking is in a really bad spot right now, but he does have some health. They'll try to go back into the Firestorm, but these illusions are just kicking his ass, and Pepita can only do so much. He has double bracer. Pepita is dangerous, and Stinger is taking tower aggro right now. He has a Stampede to just get himself out of there. Firestorm, yeah. That's about all an Underlord can do there. Unfortunately, he's all alone. Everyone else is kind of on top lane. Moo's setting up some deep vision so that MD can get some free farm once his Battle Fury comes up. And over in mid lane, Tomato. Still just working towards an item. You'll get there eventually. Unfortunately, Yule's Scepter, as great as it is as an item, is hard to compete with the Necrobook build up on the Dazzle. Which one the Dazzle should be coming up with some stuff. This is not his, actually. Dazzle's holding on to a lot of cash. And he wants the energy booster, at least that's in the quick buy. He'd easily jam home a couple of upgrades to this Necrobook. And it's all good, so I wonder if he's gonna actually just do that, make a straight level 1 through 3 push. I mean, holding 3,000 gold on Dazzle seems really excessive. Like right now, that gold is giving them an advantage that's not doing anything for them. Excel and Stinger are going to run into a Kristoff Shadow Shaman. Serpent Wards are going to be deployed, but the disengage cleanly away from them. They are going to split off to the side, catch Stinger, and the Dispel Magic kills off every single Eidolon there. The chase is on, I suppose, for Excel, but this fight just got split up so far because of that Stampede. They should have another Dispel Magic to get him down from that Cyclone, but ultimately, Serpent Wards were dropped with no real vision. And just one guy runs this way, one guy runs that way, and they do end up picking up the Elder Titan at least. But again, it's the same exact thing that we saw in the top lane earlier. Everyone and their mom rotates in, looking for some kills, and you only get one. And that is not a good deal at all. This is the worst deal in the history of deals. Especially when in a position like this, Serpent Wards are kind of needed to give your team recovery gold. That's probably what hurts the most. Like, yeah, the rotation sucks, but the usage of the Serpent Wards to get only one kill, I don't even think Snaking, you know, he doesn't even get that kill. Like, he wasn't even there. Split was also used. That also is a little bit of a twist of the knife. Speaking of twisting knives, Roshan is going to be twisted by a knife. That was terrible. I couldn't make that segue happen, but they're just gonna go straight towards Roche anyway. Tons of illusions, and there's no split. There is going to be that haze on pretty much everyone's shock as well. Cleaned up the illusions. Stinger taking a lot of damage from Pepita, who got a lot of that aura damage stacked up from before. They do pick off Stinger right now, but it's Tomato in a lot of trouble. He gets Yule's Scepter, and they throw him back in towards the pit. Snaking will give his life. MD's gonna show himself off with the dagger, but he's not really happy to go in towards this yet. Stomp lands onto 2. That should guarantee the pick off of the Rubik. Couple daggers will be thrown in. Snaking is there with the black hole. It's gonna hit them a little bit harder. That's immediately 3 down. As they all stack up all the time in the world to set up that Midnight Pulse as well. No rush whatsoever. Now they're going to go in for a little bit more. Roshan is still alive. How to twist that knife. Now, think of how different this fight would be if there was a split or Serpent Wards drop there. It would be such a huge win. Stinger is drunk off his ass, but it doesn't matter because they've secured the Roshan eventually for this Terrorblade. That is going to kick the lead all the way up to 7k. I guess 6k.
Radiant are scanning.
First black hole of the game. And again, as tanky as this Underlord is, man, he can't really just go in there and do all the damage. Someone needs to do some damage with them. And in a perfect world, that would be, you know, a Brewmaster, Serpent Wards, a Rubik stealing something. But just Rubik caught against the wall like that, this is Frown Town for Rubik. And Envy, I mean, he can throw in those daggers. Hope for a lucky crit roll. That's about all he can do. He's gonna go for a BKB next. But even should he pick up a BKB, like, he gets that item, he turns on BKB, jumps right in. Who's he gonna kill? Like, is he gonna beat down a Terrorblade? No, not a chance. There is still a black hole, there is still a Stampede just to get away. I think even Elder Titan, if he has a decent amount of damage from that Spirit, can put up a decent fight versus that PA. So, Magic Community, even though it's pretty darn great, is not quite gonna be an item pickup that's just going to allow Envy to safely engage. Oh, Stinger, Stampede, grabs a double damage rune, but just dies immediately afterwards. Reflection onto Eternal Envy. His illusion gets a crit, because apparently Ozzy's just good at PA. He should be able to back off here. Pick off a Centaur and draw out Stampede. That's not a terrible pick. Another kill for Tomato as well. This is just a race for Envy. Gotta get that gold. Gotta get that gold. Gotta try to recover.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
He's at 4k. What did the Dazzle get? He went straight one-shot Guardian Greaves. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Arcane Boots, nothing wrong with Mech. I don't know why you one-shot that, but he did it. The absolute madman. Tier 2 towers will be traded, but this push ain't stopping for nobody. The Metamorphosis is out. He does have the Crimson. Gonna give them a little bit of extra juice here. Firestorm is gonna do a lot of damage as the split comes in. Dispel Magic clears out the rest of the summons. Ozzy on the south side does have that Aegis, so he is very comfortable in the middle of this fight, although the pit is fantastic. Kind of cuts the fight in half here. The Brewmaster is awkwardly stumbling around with his split, and the tower is being chipped out. 21 minutes, that's all. And this Aegis Terrorblade is completely fearless. Like, who's gonna kill this guy? I'm not really sure who. It's gonna have to be someone. They can drop some more Firestorm, and they do just that by hallucinating jump in, and the black hole grabs EE. He has BKB, and it's gonna do literally nothing for him. Pete in the middle of this fight, taking up every single hit the Terrorblade has to offer, but he's still gonna go down. And this looks like it might be a very early set of racks. It will be just that. 11k should be about the lead. No way, they're gonna go for a tier 4 tower? Do they have demonic conversions? They do. I mean, there's no one that can really contest them right now, so they force a buyback on the pit. Underlord. Pit Lord. When was the last time he was Pit Lord? I don't really know. Then they fall back, happy with that gain. That was 0 casualties in that engagement, and if they push forward too far, Infamous, they might just get turned upon, because Playmakers can still re-engage. They still have that Stampede. Even though they don't have a Metamorphosis, they still have just a Terrorblade who's stacked to hell. Dom is there, and here comes Stinger. Okay, maybe not. There goes Stinger, and there goes the Stampede. Let's see how clean the retreat is. It looks pretty darn clean to me. Stinger is out. And everyone should be out, in fact, except for that guy. This guy is not out. They still have the Aegis. I don't think they'll be able to push again with it. They will have an Arcane Rune if they want to take down a couple of tier 2s. Or Shrines, because they took down the tier 3 in the process. You can see how little the Phantom Assassin's doing versus that TB. If you want to first pick PA, fine, that's okay. But you got to expect the Terrorblade to be picked up in direct response. And hit once again in a fantastic spot. But again, this is a Terrorblade with Aegis, so they may kill him off, or they may not, because they're just not doing any damage. Can anyone kill this Terrorblade? He's going to sunder straight up the full. Here comes the Earth Splitter, cracks back Snaking, and now Blues, he will get the split off, but what will that actually do? Like, this isn't doing anything. So he's just going to keep chasing forward, because he has eyes on Tomato, who did steal the black hole, GG is called before they could even kill him. 23 minutes in, and that's about the sight of it. Sad trombone from Faker. Infamous. They just get ripped apart. They have been doing this to pretty much everyone else in the qualifiers today.
Radiant team ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban.
Guys, what's up and welcome back to the second game in the grand finals of the South American qualifiers of the Bucharest Minor. Wow, that was a lot of qualifications there. So yeah, this is game 2. Playmakers, they really ripped apart Infamous. Terrorblade going up against no real magic damage, and he kind of just took over and destroyed everyone. Let's close this box. So Infamous, it's yet another one of those games where they gave Rubik to Tomato, and it didn't really work. I have a feeling it's time to stop doing that. They've run it 3 times at least so far. They've lost every single time. Just don't do it. Pretty easy solutions there. I'm Mike Lawrence, going to be your caster for this game, and if you are an Infamous gaming fan, they need your energy, because if they lose this game, it'll be Playmakers moving forward and Infamous just getting nothing. They actually just get nothing. Honestly though, if Playmakers win this game, they've shown that they are, like, you know, convincingly better than pretty much everyone else. It's been like every single game they've played, it's been just seemingly one-sided, except for a couple of games in the previous matchup of Infamous versus Playmakers when they met before, where the games were a little bit closer. Playmakers just seem to be a little bit ahead above everyone. I don't know what it is about this name, Faker, but apparently if you take that name, it makes you play better. That's just science right there, because he has been an absolute all-star for the Playmaker side. That's not fair of me to say. That implies that everyone else is being bad while Faker is carrying them, and that's simply not true. Everyone at Playmakers are making their plays and they're doing their jobs. So let's see what's gonna happen in this draft. It seems like Playmakers have been kind of consistently getting the better of Envy. And we'll see what's gonna happen in this game. As the Dazzle first pick is a little bit different from what we saw Infamous do in previous matches. I believe this might be their first Dazzle pick in general. So mixing something a little bit new in, and you know what? After last game, I don't mind that one bit. All that being said, Brewmaster is still in the pool. There's actually a lot of power in the pool, but you know what? They're just gonna go for the Tusk. The Oracle being banned out is a little bit strange. I don't think that hero is quite first pick powerful. He's still decent, but I mean, he's kind of just okay. Tusk, are they gonna Tusk Winter Wyvern? They're a really solid combo. Are they going to Tusk Grimstroke? I don't know if we've seen Grimstroke play from the Playmakers side of things. But you know what? They've got themselves a whole lot of options. I don't know if this is going to be a Tomato Dazzle. And that's kind of the beauty of Dazzle, but oh, this is a statement right here. Playmakers go Tusk Rubik. And as we saw last game, Rubik isn't particularly great versus Dazzle. Like, he's fine. He's not going to crush him or anything like that. Rubik isn't particularly great with Tusk or anything like that. Again, he's fine. I feel like this is a pick that's saying, hey, this is how it's done. Take notes. We're going to show you how to do the mid Rubik. Now, it may happen like that. It may be a support Rubik with a Tusk. Either way, I think it's pretty reasonable. But yeah, this is not an opening that you see very frequently after having just beaten the enemies who tried to run this. Look at that. Immediate Phantom Assassin pick, immediate Terrorblade ban. Yeah, so Infamous know at this point. Envy has learned, has downloaded the game. He knows what to play around. So Phantom Assassin being here with Dazzle. Really nice 1-2 punch for the exact same reasons why Terrorblade is good with Dazzle. Phantom Assassin perhaps might just be better with Dazzle. Maybe isn't as good with the Grave, but is definitely a lot better earlier on offensively with the Phantom Strike into Shadow Wave. Like, that combo is very, very powerful, especially if you're jumping onto someone like Rubik. It kind of just smashes him. So yeah, I'm kind of okay with Infamous going for this PA again. I think the hero is still fine as long as you don't run into that Terrorblade. It will require some more heavy lifting from some of these other support heroes. I think it might also be about time for them to forego any Shadow Shaman plays. Just try to get them back to earlier today. And keep in mind, guys, this is Infamous's 6th game. So playing 6 games in a row, not much of a time for breaks. It's exhausting. It really is, especially in this kind of high pressure scenario. So fatigue may be setting in for them. Playmakers, this is their 2nd game. They obviously don't have much of a fatigue issue there. So I kind of want to see Infamous just run back the Bane. Try to get back to that playstyle. Like, they were running, what, game 1 was like Bane and Mirana, and Tomato was just going off. I think, no, actually Tomato was Lina, but you know, it was, you know, still these really kind of hard to lose the lane with heroes, with rotations coming in. PA clearly, as we've seen in the last game, is capable of getting farm despite not having a super amount of support. Like, she can do that and it'll be fine. It may not be the best situation for her, but she can get away with it. If they can get back to that type of gameplay style, it seems like Infamous were really good at it. Get Tomato into the game. Actually give him a hero that he can make some plays on with a very nice, at worst, even lane matchup. And I could see Infamous pushing this to a game 3. If they end up giving Tomato another kind of sour lane matchup, then this might just be over in a hurry. Brewmaster will be the select from Playmakers. Why? Because it's freaking Brewmaster, man. Brewmaster evasion up against PA is insane, and if you don't have a BKB, you're just gonna take a trip to the air every single fight. Together with the Tusk, man, you just get that physical beatdown. Give him a hug, and just never stop slamming him. Anyone. Like, Phantom Assassin maybe can blink out of that. Dazzle will not be able to. That is not a good spot for Dazzle to be.
5 seconds remaining.
Playmakers are maybe taking a little bit of a BM move here towards Infamous as far as their draft is concerned. But you know what? I love it. I love it all the same. Again, showing them how it's done. I think the Poison Touch is dispellable. I don't really know if that matters. Usually Dispel Magic for a Brewmaster is just, I'm gonna get rid of my Cyclone and nothing else. Maybe kill some summons if they're there. So I'd imagine it's now a little bit of a support time for the Infamous side. And as far as supports are concerned, they need some disables. Along those lines, I wouldn't mind seeing a Grimstroke, getting a quick silence to come out. They're gonna run back Shadow Shaman. I mean, let's wipe our memory of the previous game. Let's say this is the first game. Infamous are now grabbing the Shadow Shaman as their 3rd pick in game 1. It's not bad. Like, you need these disables to deal with the Brewmaster. Getting that ability to pressure with the Serpent Wards, it's really nice. And of course, if you shackle someone and have PA just wail on them, I mean, it's a pretty easy way of getting kills. So, you know, after all said and done, this is still a reasonable pick. But I think if you just look at the track record for Infamous, the Shadow Shaman has just been getting worse and worse for them after every single game, so you got to take that into account. Still, having a quick Hex for a Brewmaster is Really, really sweet. The Shadow Shaman, maybe a sign that Infamous are maybe a little bit too stuck in their existing game plan and not really taking that experimental leap. And that, I gotta say, is where that fatigue comes in. Like, if you're really tired, you're like, okay, who do you want to play? I want to play my most comfortable hero. I want to play the hero that I have been playing a lot. And that makes sense, right? Sometimes you just gotta break out of that, but it's really hard if you're tired. The Playmakers with this Brewmaster, most likely I want to say now Rubik in mid. And we may see that Rubik versus Dazzle mid lane matchup again. If Faker wins that one over Tomato, that is a statement. It's like, yo, I beat you as Dazzle, I beat you as Rubik. No excuses anymore, I'm just better. I don't see Shadow Shaman moving in towards that mid lane. Not really convincingly. Rubik is a pretty decent hero to rotate on. Shadow Shaman is a little bit of a clunky hero to be doing that. Playmakers now grab a Winter Wyvern. So I would assume it's going to be that Tusk Wyvern support duo, Rubik Brewmaster. Kind of hold down the fort as the cores. I don't see any other way of shuffling those lanes. Now that means that Playmakers need a really heavy late game hero. Someone to really stick it in the late game. Because they know that they're up against Shadow Shaman wards. They're gonna have their towers be pushed. So what they have to do right now is find some way to scale into the late game. Get a hero that, should that hero get farm, can give them a shot if this game goes 40-50 minutes. And I would say probably Spectre, their best bet. Medusa is a possibility as well. Although the side lanes will look a little bit weird if that happens. You can always safe lane Medusa. There's nothing wrong with that either. Winter Wyvern is just a nice little response to that Phantom Assassin. Like here. You're gonna jump in on my target? You're gonna jump in on my Rubik? No, my Rubik's embraced. And Infamous, once again, they don't have much magic damage. Dazzle's almost purely physical. Is he purely physical? He is. PA the same way, and now Beastmaster, another physical tool that Infamous have picked up. Their ability to push towers is darn scary. You are going to pick up someone like a Spectre, you really don't want to match up against Beastmaster. The pressure he applies to your lane is really high. So I like where Infamous are going with this fourth pick. I like the Beastmaster PA combo. I like the Beastmaster with Shadow Shaman.
5 seconds.
Most likely just one more support. Go with that Shadow Shaman. Again, I'm looking at Grimstroke here for Infamous, and it's seemingly decent. Bind up a couple targets, get some double Shadow Shaman casting, get some double Roar action. But even outside of that, just a little bit of that Embrace. Called Phantom's Embrace, right? Yeah, it is. So we got Cold Embrace and maybe Phantom's Embrace. Really premium tool up against Brewmaster and Rubik. And it's decent versus the others as well, but just not quite as good.
Radiant team banned.
The OD instead is going to be banned out. They expect Port Dazzle. Which is possible. But I guess they're just taking care of the... if Rubik's mid, it's not even like the worst matchup for Rubik. It's a matchup Rubik versus OD where he's fine. Like, there are obviously better matchups for Rubik, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, if this is going to be a support Dazzle, support Shadow Shaman, getting another mid hero that's really able to apply that pressure with a Beastmaster with a Shadow Shaman. Lena's looking okay still here for Infamous. They do need some magic damage. I would say that's an alright pick. Can they Zeus? They can get a mid Zeus. That would be pretty devastating. We only saw that one ban of him in the last game. So, oh, Visage. They can Visage here very well, actually. Not much that Playmakers have to deal with that. And Tomato does play a Visage, so I'm calling it right now. That is not a Visage. That is a Dragon Knight. But it's a little bit more so on the push train. I mean, whenever you're looking at mid pushers, it's always like DP, Dragon Knight. And yeah, they'll get the job done push-wise, especially when combined with Beastmaster. The amount of physical durability that their late game Powerful late game hero for sure. But the pressure is going to be going towards his side of the map. He's going to be the one who's being pushed. If you're able to kind of apply some pressure to the PA, get her down early, that'll be great for Playmakers. Otherwise, as she gets farm, I would say against this Phantom Lancer and knowing EE's track record, probably going to be a Battle Fury build on her. Phantom Lancer illusions are going to just be wiped out in huge waves. So I'm liking where Infamous are standing right now. I mean, they have now a quite a varied set of stuns. Obviously, Shadow Shaman has his, Beastmaster, Dragon Tail being a big one. And this is a lane matchup for Tomato where, like, he doesn't have to do anything and he'll just kind of just grind out this lane. I would say there are very few situations, if any, where a Rubik is able to kill off a DK. Like, best case scenario, you steal Breathe Fire, right? Like, that's the best spell you can steal from DK. You still can't kill him. Like, you just don't have enough damage to do that. You just don't have it. Even if you do have Stinger coming in, like, maybe with Tag Team, maybe, but that armor from the Dragon Blood, just a kind of a brick wall. I could see Sword having a pretty nice time early on. Likewise, Pepita has an okay matchup versus Phantom Lancer. His tower gets pushed, can still function halfway decently. Overall, I would say Infamous maybe with like a 55 advantage. I'm not entirely a fan right now of the Rubik v DK matchup mid, although it could be a switch. Happening.
Wonderful. Excellent idea.
Yeah, everyone else is just going exactly where you would expect, at least on the Playmaker side, and probably on the Infamous side as well. Yeah. Get that Dazzle PA. A little bit of offensive power again with that PA. Phantom Strike in. Get that Shadow Wave. Pretty sweet. But in this Brawl Fest, Tusk and Brewmaster, powerful as they may be, they are just going to be at the mercy of this Dazzle because of that Shadow Wave. All these melee heroes just get obliterated by that physical nuke. They do have to watch themselves. But at the same time, Dazzle, if he gets too comfortable, if he gets snowballed or clapped or something, like a couple of crits from that drunken brawler, and Dazzle is super dead.
To battle.
Excellent idea.
Cell just camping out. What is this anyway? He just sneaks this rune because they don't expect it. He just like flies over like this and he's just like yoink, and then he just gets out of there. He sees snaking. Is he actually gonna get this? No way. This is gonna be a 3-1 for Playmakers because Excel is just hiding here.
Wonderful.
Easy clap. Wonderful indeed. Playmakers with the plays, and Snaking is like, God damn it. There's a taunting Winter Wyvern. The ha 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 comes out. Oh yeah. That's how you do it. Like, stealing the rune is one thing. Running away while blowing smoke rings in the face of the Shadow Shaman, like, that's style points right there. It seems like Shadow Shaman is catching up though. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Takes one shot, whatever, man. So yeah, it's a 3-1 bounty rune split. By the way, last game Playmakers got all 4, I think. Now back to the top lane. Again, the Beastmaster is going to be here. We'll have some help from the Shadow Shaman, and the Phantom Lancer has to watch himself. But for the most part, not a ton of pressure going on to him, as opposed to what's happening over here. EE getting literally and figuratively tag teamed. 6 HP though, and he'll chug down a salve and survive. That's what happens when you get a little bit too close to these two guys. Again, these two guys are like built to bruise. That is 100% their job. They are going to run at you and they're never ever going to stop. And if you get caught in that tag team kind of slow loop, how much reduced movement speed it is? 75%? That's a pretty severe slow. If you get caught in that, man, you're not escaping. Especially if you don't have Phantom Strike. So, you know, once she gets that, she'll be a little bit better off. But still, you don't really want to be using Phantom Strike expressly to escape. Especially since, once that Phantom Strike comes up, there may be a snowball to give chase towards you. In which case, yeah, you're in a little bit of a bad situation at that point. Oh, tag team, there it is. Who are they going for? They're going for Moose. Big crit, second big crit, but tag team is out of range. Now Stinger takes a little bit of damage here. Another Phantom Strike is up, but not really worth going for. And okay. Yeah, that was bound to happen, guys. I knew that was gonna happen. It was all intentional. Snaking finds a Winter Wyvern playing a little bit too aggro in this top lane. Wyvern's gonna return, but yeah, Shadow Shaman having a huge level 1 nuke. 140 is way above average. I think it might be like the highest nuke, as opposed compared to like, you know, maybe Edict does more from like Shrek. It's all on one target, something like that. It's an absolute nut spell just to harass with. Fairly expensive. Yeah, he's gonna go ahead and kill himself. Don't do it, Snaking. You have so much to live for. Too much fun watching this bottom lane. What's happening over in mid? Faker is slightly out CSing Tomato, but again, this is not a situation where Tomato is ever gonna die. 2 points in the Dragon Blood. That is just infinite survivability up against the Rubik. Probably just gonna be a big old grind fest over in that mid lane. And oh, big physical nuke from Moose, but he gets hit with an even bigger nuke from that crit from Sword. Yeah, they went into a melee creep wave, and that's why their health tanked so quickly. But hey, Snowball is up. Snowball lets them have free access onto the Dazzle, who does not have Grave. Everything is once again back up. Are they going to just jump for the Dazzle one more time? Immediately they go for it. No hesitation at all. And Moose gets a really big heal bomb, but it doesn't matter because he's dead. Now EE takes the big crits. Tag team will wear off, and EE has another dagger. That will not get the kill though. 4 seconds, he can strike and jump in, but it actually was the poison touch. Didn't realize that was applied to the tusk, so he'll die to the dot. 1-for-1 trade over in that bottom lane, and ooh, the Phantom Lancer being chased down by an entire zoo of creatures here. He'll be fine. This early game, at least, is a lot more contested by the Infamous side. Their lanes are looking a lot stronger. They could actually fight back reasonably well. Namely from this mid lane, which is not a dead lane for Infamous. It does seem like, you know, maybe Infamous are one of those teams that live or die by their mid lane. Because when Tomato's hot, he's very hot, as we've already seen. Like his Mirana game earlier, that was insane. When he's cold, though, he is very, very, very cold, as we saw in last game. So, you know, just hope he's hot, I suppose. Snowball in, EE takes 1 crit, takes a couple of extra slows from the tag team, but looks like he should be fine. Shards come out just a little bit too late. No real blockage there. What is this cooldown looking like? The cooldowns are pretty low. 15 seconds. Is someone dying up here? Yeah, someone is dying. And it's going to be the Phantom Lancer. Has a doppelgang, but he can't get it off in time. Going in a little bit too deep onto that Shadow Shaman, and once again got you baited. These cooldowns are really low. Like, they could make that roll in every single time it's up. Like, every 15 seconds, you have tag team. Mana-wise, it's not that expensive either. Like, Tusk doesn't have shard mana, but Brewmaster has enough for a clap and a brawl. Plus a million wand charges. That certainly doesn't hurt. Rune Race looks like... Oh, Moo. No, it's actually not going towards Moo. It's going towards Envy. Because they have shards. Doesn't matter. Envy doesn't really have much to jump towards. He's going to blur. Now they turn around and just corner Moo with the tag team and the shards. One more shot. There it goes. The Dazzle's down. Man, this is a devastating combo. This is absolutely backbreaking. And again, because the stifling dagger spam is something that Phantom Assassin's always going to do, you don't have to worry about running out of mana. At least you don't have to worry often about running out of mana. Pushing forward. Really wants to use these level 2 shackles on someone, anyone really. And there is an initial hero here in the form of the Dazzle. The physical nuke though does get dodged. The Phantom Lancer going to split away that poison touch, and now it's kind of an empty rotation. Honestly, Dazzle wasn't really helping that much in the bottom lane. He was kind of just feeding. So him being here is, I suppose, a little bit helpful. They may be able to dive here, but it's going to be not super easy. They will have the vision if they want it from the bird. This Phantom Lancer, he has 1 point doppelgang, can make a kind of a path through the trees here, or just chop his way in. Looks like he'll opt for the latter. And now it's the full tri-lane, and I mean, they can apply some pressure. Level 2 aura is pretty devastating with the siege creep, but it is a reinforcing TP coming in. Baker with the haste rune. He can grab Snaking, yank him up. Nope, just nuke him down. Okay. Yeah, he doesn't have enough mana for all 3 of them. So bouncing the Fade Bolt. Doing very, very well for himself. But at this time, he's doing well for himself, not at the cost of Tomato. Tomato's still A-okay. How much damage did he put on the tower? Not much. And we got Stinger on the move here. I wonder how much tag team you actually get. I mean, it will be really good if you could partner up with that Phantom Lancer. His attack speed is pretty nuts. But, yeah, I'm not really sure if it's like... Now, there's sometimes you just don't get tag team if the enemies have a lot of mobility. PA, DK, like these physical, durable heroes might make it so that tag team isn't a super high priority for leveling. As of right now, Phantom Lancer doing fine for himself. Slightly better than EE. Although, I would expect, again, PA to be going for that Battle Fury. A more or less standard EE build. Oof, there was a creep wave there. Got very quickly dealt with. Breathe Fire level 4. Fade Bolt level 4. How much? Minus 49. Oh my god. That is just obnoxious, man. Have fun last hitting with that. They're still just shoving this tower in. Lots of easy chip damage onto this Phantom Lancer. And he's low on restoratives, and by that I mean he has none. They are leaving Sword to his own devices on the bottom lane. I said earlier, I can very easily see this Brewmaster kind of get out of control here. He already level 6 with Phase Boots, so any one hero that goes into this bottom lane should not be able to contest him. Especially since he has a split. So the fact that he's going for a Hand of Midas into a Radiance, very rarely seen. You know what? Considering this situation, where he's freely managing this bottom lane, I'm down with it, man. This seems like a sick build. Like, just get nuts, farm, and then just be another threat. Because even though, like, usually as even core Brewmasters progress through the game, they start to become more and more just a walking Primal Split. When you're not Primal Split, you can still do a lot of things. Like, you still have that Drunken Brawler, you still have that Brew that he is the master of. Like, ooh, this is not what Rubik wants to see. Although he's gonna get a fat set of nukes onto both these two. Decrease their damage by quite a bit. Here comes the snowball onto Snake King, stunning him up. Faker, he's gonna get the lift up, stun even more. The damage from this Rubik, he is gonna have a grave to cast on himself. Split coming in as well. Snake King will fall. Faker does have the poison on him. He will tick down to it. I don't think they have enough to kill off Tomato. They do have him stuck in a corner. They're doing literally no damage because +9 armor, lol, good luck. It will be Tomato to resume his laning phase and Sword to resume his main form. But for a Rubik to actually turn that around and get a kill after all said that, oh, snaking, that is not where you want to be, surrounded by Smurfs. And not the happy kind either, the angry kind. Pita even getting dashed at a little bit. Okay, what should have been just a free pickup on a Rubik, because you're just walking up high ground, turned into a little bit more of an even exchange. Roar. Winter Wyvern has no embrace. And even if she did, I don't think there was any escaping from that pig. So an easy snipe of the Winter Wyvern. A little bit of room service there for Beastmaster. Move nowhere, still get kills. Easy game. What's going on here? Haste Rune for Brewmaster. Hand of Midas, very close to completion. What has Envy been doing? Envy's been chilling in the jungle. These stupid golems don't know what's happening. You guys know when you're playing, like, Skyrim or something, and you're a sneak archer, because of course you are, and you land a crit on someone, and they're like, oh, what was that? And you're just standing there, and they're like, oh, it must have been nothing. Exactly this. That's literally this. Gotta cut down the ale. I'm starting to see things. Don't pretend like you guys don't know what I'm talking about. Don't pretend you guys played Skyrim and went for something that's not a sneak archer. I know you're lying if you say that. Big smoke up. Is there another split? Not yet. There's a haste rune though. That actually gives them a chance of killing off this DK, but DK has backup. DK's backup might be a little too far away. Snowball's gonna come in and immediately is down to below half HP. Lifted up as well. Look at all those debuffs on him. Granted, most of them are tag team. Moo's going to arrive, but he should not be here. He can outrun this Tide. And that'll be a double kill. Picked up both of them actually by this Rubik. On top of the net worth chart. And you know that statement I was mentioning earlier? That, hey, we're gonna beat you with your own hero type of thing? It's working out so far. Even if they don't end up winning this game, like, Faker showed off how to do the Rubik mid. You gotta make those rotations. Gotta get something good to steal, you gotta move around, gotta apply that pressure. Arcane Supremacy, 36 debuff amplification, get that huge telekinesis stun duration, and if he's able to steal like a Hex or something like that, a Dragon Tail, a Roar would be super premium. And Envy, he is now in a little bit of trouble. Oh my god, the burst damage. The Fade Bolt Breathe Fire like instantaneously chunks him down. In the meantime, we have Phantom Lancer just chilling, but he does see Pepita. And, I mean, you could roar him, but you have no backup. And now Pepita, a little bit surrounded, so he's got to be careful. Well, there's not much mana here, so, the Tusk, rather, not incredibly dangerous. Sword is just chilling over in the mid lane. I mean, hand to Midas attack speed when you're working with crits from Drunken Brawler. That hurts, man. That hurts a lot, even if you are someone like a DK or a Beastmaster who's supposed to be resilient versus that type of damage. Fade Bolt Breathe Fire. Creep Wave is dead. They do drop their Serpent Wards, but it looks like a lot of gold to me. Oh, Serpent Ward stolen. Whoa, that's not good. So, I mean, they may not get this tower, but you know what? I'm pretty sure Faker is going to be crying all the way to the bank, because this represents a free tower. Like, he used a 25 mana spell to get a tower. Seems pretty good, man. Seems really good. And if they drop Serpent Wards right here, they'll see Pepita, and then he will just be so completely boned. Roar goes off, shards go way too far, and Pepita does kind of just get himself out of there. They drop the Serpent Wards, by the way, on that tower. And look, the Snake Civil War. Leave it to snakes to be turning on each other, right? Easy tower pickup. Now Sword even gonna go for a Radiance. Oh man, in the meantime, Phantom Lancer be chilling over in mid. He's got the Diffuser Blade in the works. Nothing too out of the ordinary for PL. And Envy, still just trying to gun towards that Demon Edge. Get that Battle Fury going. We've seen this time and time again for Envy. Falls a little bit behind, maybe not as far as this. But with the Battle Fury, he's able to really skyrocket his farm, especially if his team creates some space for him. They have the disables necessary in order to do that. They have an abundance of disables in this game. And Excel, fly away! Fly away and D-ward at the same time. They just have to find an opportunity to use their disables, while at the same time, not get jumped. Because this is not a good look for Pepita. Split out. Splinter Blast gonna slow down Pepita even further. They drag him back. Look at this Brewmaster with the Wind Panda. Gets rid of the Grave. Now looking to focus down the Beastmaster afterwards. Cyclone will wear off Pepita, now Graveable, if that's a word, which it probably isn't. It wasn't going to go down anyway, actually, so it looks like that damage just wasn't quite there. Only a level 1 split right now. What do you guys think? Is Graveable a word? It means able to be graved. Probably not going to find that in the dictionary. But it's in the dictionary of Dota. Snaking. Oh, you just took Stinger's rune. There is also a PA nearby. Run, EE, run. Alright, looks like that's a pretty nice rune sweep. Actually, no, it's a 2-2. Two Bracers, Power Treads into Radiance for DK. Don't mind that build. Not really a super common build, but if you're just gonna sit in the middle of a whole bunch of Phantom Lancers, you want Radiance more so than you want any other item as DK. I can see that getting a lot of value. Plus, I mean, just look how tanky he is. Almost 20 armor, sometimes 20 armor. Sick regen, 23. He's gonna be in those fights for a very long time. Unless, again, he just gets swarmed with tag team hits, which is the possibility. They're still pinging out for Pepita right now. There's no scan, though, so they can't really find him. And EE, he's just sneaking about. Classic sneak archer. X goes off onto Sword, though. He's going to try to... No, he actually doesn't even have split. He's going to get the evasion off and the embrace. So these Serpent Wards now doing no damage. As Stinger's going to isolate Moose. A little bit of slow, and the Walrus Punch, oh my god, just destroys him. They curse up the Shadow Shaman as well, just to keep him in place. Baker misses his Fade Bolt, but that's okay. Still got him. Double kill for the Rubik. They do lose the tower. Radiance destroys it. So at least they get their objective. And yeah, it costs them a handful of heroes, but they're just supports. To take a tower, that's worth it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Unless this also happens at the same time. If they make a tower trade, ultimately, that ain't worth it. Tier 1 for Tier 2 is never worth it. Tier 1 for Tier 2 and 2 heroes? Terrible deals, man. Terrible, terrible deals. Speaking of, Pita did not sign up for this. Tag teamed and now Windwalk for the extra damage. He's gonna get the roar out onto a Wind Panda. That seemed like an oh shit, I'm dying, I bet type of move. Because there was no point in that, really. Now Mood's hit with that Diffusal Blade. You can see that restraint from the Phantom Lancer. He knows that if the real one gets caught, if there's a DK or a PA sitting right here, he can very easily go down, so he backs off. Blink Dagger. Thinking about Kaya, thinking about Yule Scepter. A very mobile build, though, from the Rubik. Like, he's kind of just designed to go everywhere and... Ooh. Easy escape. Just be everywhere at the same time. Be that persistent threat. Make the enemies constantly guess, where is this Rubik going to turn up next? Compare that to last game. The Rubik mid went, I think the same boots, Null Talisman, but went straight Yule Scepter. Which is not a bad item, but it just takes a little bit more time to really get built up. Like, as Rubik, being able to be in the right spot, that's pretty much the entire hero. You just don't want to be in the front. So if you are in the front, you want to have the mobility, the tools in order to get into the back of the fight. And Motto showing off that Radiance now. And they kill this guy off. Okay, they're not really sneaky anymore. I don't know how this melee creep still survived. Pita shoving up top lane. What Beastmaster does really, really well. Problem is, though, this 5k lead from Playmakers is doing nothing but slowly increase in their favor. It helps that they have the Hand of Midas and almost a Radiance of their own on the Brewmaster. His farm is going to be just absolutely out of control.
Dire are scanning.
I don't know if you still go for these, like, Primal Split-based talents. If you have a build that's this fat, like, you're still going to be using Primal Split. But 100 attack speed with Radiance damage, yeah, you know, there's at least an argument that can be made. I don't know if there's ever a situation where you go for the left talent on 20 here. It's really good. Like, 100 attack speed is a lot of attack speed. Especially when you're talking, again, about crits that are just going to be coming even faster. But, you know, your split is pretty important, and you don't want them to die. Because if they die, you die. Speaking of dying, what was that delay? Now up on the high ground, maybe they have a chance to give him a little bit of save. They do with the Embrace. Split is out. They hesitated, and now they're going to get punished. The Phantom Assassin lifted up. Brave going to keep her alive for just a little while longer, but I don't think she's getting out of here. She will try to Phantom Strike out, but the Fire Panda's right on her. She'll burn down. And this is going to be a split-up fight every which way. Pepita is going to get dropped. It will be in exchange for the Tusk, but it's still this Brewmaster and Rubik in the background, just laying waste to everyone from Infamous. Now clap onto 2. Tomato teleports out. No telekinesis. He will escape. But that was a weirdly hesitant move from the Beastmaster. Like, he saw him and he's just like, yo, what up, man? Then he let him get to the high ground, just a little bit closer. Or that save for the Winter Wyvern, who is teleporting in, because obviously, like, you see the Tusk, he sees you too. That split just destroyed them as well. Being able to drop the Phantom Assassin that quickly, forcing out a Grave, and especially in that position, like, there are no creeps to jump to here. As Phantom Assassin, if you're locked in this area, you're locked in that area, you're gonna fight to the bitter end. And the end was, in fact, bitter. Now Playmakers pushing their lead even further towards that 10k mark. In the meantime, it's gonna be a tag team Tusk brawl in 793 crits here from Sword. That's pretty disgusting. And he's got the Radiance picked up as well. And as PA, you really don't want to be missing. You do not have that luxury. What is going on? Okay, they're leaving to kill the pigs, bring back the bacon, killing birds, killing all sorts of woodland creatures. They want this big woodland creature. Oh, look at these pups. I love this. Like, it's so ridiculous looking, but I love it.
Bottom tower is under attack.
By the way, yesterday, the big reason why Playmakers actually got to the grand finals to begin with was because of Excel's Winter Wyvern. Like, his curse was pretty much getting kills whenever he dropped it, and the Embrace was just there every single time. And we can see how powerful of a tool it is against Infamous. Like, they are vastly in the physical damage, I'm gonna right-click you type field, and don't do it. Don't kill your Dazzle like that. Oh, he's just gonna die. Now the split is out. DK is taking that Radiance burn damage, lifted up what's stolen, Elder Dragon form for Faker, and they're just gonna right-click him down. Like, there's no escape here for Tomato. He's gonna try to turn on his Dragon brother, but he's not gonna get out of there. Over in mid lane, looks like someone was able to TP out. Looks like Snaking was able to escape the Phantom Lancer somehow. Phantom Lancer still is kind of on the chase here because EE is in the area with the heart and an Aegis. Phantom Lancer doesn't really have much to fear, but he will be a little bit cautious, seeing as though his backup is nowhere to be found. Oh, look at this. It's so adorable. You get the Fire Dragon, you get the Ice Wyvern. We're gonna go for that Aghanim Scepter. And there's not really much to Aghanim Scepter increase. It's all just kind of okay. But you get the 2 seconds, how much reduction is it? 14 second cooldown reduction. That's a lot of reduction, man. Especially when you're stealing spells. Get him sneaking. Buy your space for your allies. Himself a decent chunk of gold by doing that, but problem is that Playmakers are still just closing in this map. This Brewmaster is so competitive in the farm, and I think the more surprising thing is that Faker's pretty competitive in the farm as well. He's been able to steal AoE pretty consistently, namely this Breathe Fire. So like, he just instantly kills creep waves there, but damn, this Brewmaster is ready to just beat some people down. And he has found a beat down target. And these two kill off Tomato. Radiance is on him, he should know it. Breathe Fire stolen, and now they're gonna cut him off. He is gonna pop the Elder Dragon form. Do they want it? They can't even get it. Dragon Tail and run away. This is going to be a chase of epic proportions. Hannah Midas value? Hannah Midas value? Sword, get the Hannah Midas value. The kill can wait. Lift up, throw him down. They have another clap, and with the Cinder Brew on him, I don't think the DK is getting out of here. Did he Hannah Midas? He didn't. Come on, Sword. Come on, Sword. How do you expect to win with that Hannah Midas value? What is going on here? Envy, half HP with the Phantom Lancer on his tail. They will roar the PL, keep him at bay for a little while. Now the Hex is up under the touch, but the Embrace is going to keep Stinger in fit fighting shape as Rubik's going to show up. Dragon Tail is going to be used on nothing. I think he missed it, but EE either way is still in a lot of trouble as he has a Phantom Lancer on his ass. You can blur all you want. Phantom Lancer eventually is going to hit you. Dragon Tail kind of sucks as a steal, honestly. Super low range. But it does last forever because of Arcane Supremacy, so that's kind of cool. 6-22. This is looking exactly like Game 2 between Well Played and Infamous earlier. Snaking, trying to be cute, and I don't think he's getting out of this one. So yeah, trying to be cute, but that's about all it is. Wonderful indeed. This is going to be a 2-lane push here from Playmakers. Looking to put Infamous in the garbage can right now, still with this Aegis, and they're just gonna dash right in. They may not be able to kill the DK with the Phantom Lancer. We'll force him back to the fountain. He doesn't even have Zelda Dragon form. He's not a threat right now. And there's a split here from the Brewmaster. They are splitting their focus. If they were all in mid, rest assured this mid Rax would be down. Or all in one of these lanes. So they're going to try to go for it all at the same time, which is a little bit greedy. Excel is going to embrace himself. Eternal Envy kind of stuck in the trees right now. He really doesn't want to be packed there. He's going to have to jump out as they do curse up the Beastmaster just to get Excel out of their EE now. Versus the Phantom Lancer. He's going to break through all those trees, and now it's Eternal Envy swarmed by Smurf. Once again, he's dropped. The split is out, and they're going to swamp Pepita next. Another grave will keep Pepita alive, and they're going to turn on to whoever they can find. Tomato, he's going to get hit with the Shadow Amulet, so he's going to survive for a little while longer, but the Dazzle might not be as lucky because the Radiance is there. GG congrats is called. And in 2 disgustingly one-sided games, Playmakers show off their power and are going to the minor. It is a shame that these last couple games I mean, the last kind of 4 games were all really one-sided.